Yo, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be finishing up the engine on the 96 Ram Overland project here with the 5.9 Magnum V8. We're going to try and get it started today. We need to get the intake manifold on, make fuel lines. We're not going to put any accessories on. We just want to fire it up for a quick second, make sure it's all good. So we shouldn't need the water pump hooked up, or alternator should be good there. John's back there finishing up the intake manifold now. We'll check in with him and get started.
For those that don't know, that this is the stock intake manifold. They call it a kegger. There is a slew of different mods that you can do to these, and I've chose to do some of them. To start, these are the VRP plates, which you guys saw last time. I had them tack welded in. Then I went through with high temp epoxy and I went around all the extra seams. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure the correct way to do this then would then to be sand all these down and smooth all of these out for better airflow. I am not doing that. I have spent a good amount of hours actually just on the intake manifold. I think this is rated for like a 15 horsepower gain to flow better air. I don't think that's worth it. A Hughes air gap intake manifold, I think, is $450. And for me to buy the plates, buy the epoxy, pay somebody to TIG weld it, and then I also had it sandblasted, and the ports still aren't great. It's still a stock intake manifold. It really, I don't think, was worth the money, but we're already here. Now, the second thing that everybody does is this is the intake plenum belly pan. And this sits on top of here. And you bolt this down and there's a gasket, and that keeps the oil from getting inside of the actual manifold itself. But with this plate, it's a little bit too thin and it distorts under heat, and then it blows the gasket and then you're sucking oil. So what they make instead is this, I'm gonna say 3/8 thick plate of aluminum that completely replaces that, and that you're able to shinge down a little bit harder, and it does not have the same leaking issues. You can go on HughesEngines.com. They make a whole kit, and I believe it's $160 for the kit. I opted not to do that because I felt like I spent enough money on this intake manifold. I went on eBay and I bought this plate for $60 shipped to my house. And on top of that, I had already bought the full gasket kit from Felpro for this engine. So I already had everything else that I needed. So with that being said, I think we're ready to put this thing together. Torque spec on 5.9 Magnum intake manifold plenum.
Okay, searching.
If you remember from last video, these are the junkyard fuel rails that I picked up. Painted them red to match everything else. I have brand new stock CC'd injectors, single hole. Not making a race truck here, so it'll be fine. I got a little lithium grease to smear on our O-rings. That way everything's good. We're gonna get this bolted down to this intake manifold and hopefully get it on the truck here soon. Little schmutz. There's that. Injectors are all in. Putting the fuel rail on now. Get this thing one step closer. Oh, geez. Put a hand on that, would you, Jimmy?
Well, right here?
No, on top of that.
Like that?
Yep. Come on.
The people can't see nothing.
Oh, they don't need to. They know what's going on.
You need some petroleum jelly in your life.
I know.
Ready to put that thing on?
No. Throttle, temp sensors, and whatever sensor this is. I'll be honest with you, I kind of forget.
There you go.
Did not buy a new throttle because they are expensive. And look, the stock ones from Dodge, they're Holly, which this one, oh, there's a bug in there. Throttle's bolted on. All of my sensors here are bolted on. I got all the bolts in their spots. She's ready to put on.
Except
we gotta put this is an aftermarket. This is from UT Awesome as well. This is a windage tray to help with the oil splashing up and hitting that same plenum gasket I said was a problem earlier.
So that's not a factory piece.
No, and it just goes right there.
Nice. What about that other thing?
That's used to hold down the rocker arms, and these bolts go right here. So
yeah, we were ready for the intake manifold, but then we realized John forgot to clean off the heads on the intake side.
See, I should have just not been cheap, and I should have bought new heads.
Man, everything's nice here except the heads and the headers.
Don't film me doing this. People are going to be like, oh, that's the right way to do it. It's not. Go buy new heads.
What we got?
Intake gaskets. So that way we can, and look, they have these little ridges right there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Holds them up.
Holds them up. See these little pegs? They go in the, yeah.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Oh, something's.
So what, these edges are just sticking up too far?
Yeah, they're hitting the intake manifold.
All right, we're gonna get this thing bolted down and torqued, and then we'll start working on the fuel line. All right, update on the wiring and vacuum lines. John doesn't remember anything. I mean, we got some stuff figured out, but there's a lot of randomness. We don't know where this goes. Look at this. Yeah, how we doing over here?
I'm hooking up the bracket for the throttle, but I think the biggest issue is that's the one I broke, and that's actually the.
Oh, I mean that's a later issue.
Yeah, because
we can still fire it out.
Womp, 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 womp.
All right, buddy, you want it cheap?
Cheap as we can get. We're dropping it as soon as we put her in.
The old Tractor Supply special.
What a sweetheart! Tell you what.
How's the fuel line?
Fuel line. I got one side done. I'll show the other side to the camera.
How's the lollipop?
Lollipop's amazing. Thank you. Going on a field trip.
Field trip. There's the bed.
Grab a handle.
Fuel tank, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start this.
That's the goal, little Courtney. Here, take this and run it back.
Little Courtney.
Maybe go in through there a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
We're dying. Come on, hurry up.
it's last call.
Double time. Don't put it too close to the headers. Come on, that's my wiring.
What if I told you it didn't fit?
I wouldn't believe you. What if I told you it didn't fit?
Well, we're kind of dead in the water. That doesn't fit. He's gonna cut it off, and then we're just gonna hose clamp it on there, just so we can get it going for you. All right, got it rigged up so we can continue trying to fire this thing. What else we got to do?
Good battery. I'll be honest with you, the battery that's been sitting for this thing, I didn't put it on the tender, and I'm pretty sure it's shot. So, time to rob.
Jeez.
Work truck special. You thought it was a Cummins, but it's not.
What is this fanciness?
This is an Optima red top. This is a rough country auxiliary switch thing. How easy is it to take your battery out?
Very. But it's a Chevy, so it has side posts.
Oh my God.
All right, first crank. Let's do it. So it's turning over, but we're having trouble with the fuel pump. It's not cycling on with the key. We checked the relay. Relay's good. All right. So we're trying to track down this issue, and we pulled out the fuel relay. And if you just take a piece of jumper wire like this and go from the 30 pin to the 87 pin, it should make the fuel pump run regardless of what the key is doing.
Do you want me to key off real quick? Because I think the key might be on.
It shouldn't matter, but sure.
Okay. I swear I'm not a hoarder by any means. I'm normally a pretty organized guy. But when you need a little storage for truck parts, you could just use a little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me get up in your business real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You hear it running? So when I jump these...
Yep. All right, go ahead. Soon. Oh! Hook those back up. Careful you don't shock yourself.
So we're going to try and start it. I'm going to do the jumper wire first. Now I'm going to work the throttle. Now we got to let it charge. All right, got the battery out of the red truck.
Yep.
I'm going to hook up the jumper.
Ready?
Hit it.
I smell fuel.
Like leaky fuel.
Something.
Guess we could test for spark. Hold on.
Hold on. Hold on.
John.
What? That's on me.
That's an amateur move.
That's on me. Sorry, boys. Let's do this. Come on, get excited.
So this plug that goes into the coil that was unplugged, this is not getting any power up to this point. Well, nothing was working and nothing was working, so I came over here with our test light. And this test light doesn't work.
I got that when I worked at Harbor Freight and Trade School.
Oh, so we might have power to the coil. Who knows at this point? What else you got?
Let's do part 3.
All right, test light back in order. Do something. All right, no power to the coil for sure this time. We came to the conclusion that this thing's not going to start tonight, at least. These computerized motors, if something's not hooked up right with all the electronics and sensors, it will not send power to the coil, and it can be a nightmare tracing it down. So we decided that we'd get everything buttoned up, all the accessories on, get the front clip on, everything plugged in, and then we can start tracing down our issue. It'll be a lot easier that way. We did get a decent chunk of work knocked out here, so we're well on our way to getting this thing back on the road. But that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.